We're back here in the final segment of Jones and Company today as we learned a whole lot about the business career of Mr. Craig Flowers, our business person of the year for 2015. And we talked about the platform that was created for web shop gaming in the Bahamas. And that platform that you were instrumental in creating is the platform, I believe, that is being used throughout the entire industry. How did the platform come about?
I have to give a great deal of that credit to my eldest son, Ian, because building a platform, it's not a simple thing. The design of it is very critical. And not just having the objectives as to what we wanted to do, to secure large amount of monies on a web browser that is up on the internet and you are not a bank. It requires a lot of knowledge to build out something that will give you the protection to move monies, and hackers from the global world is not able to get in and cause havoc or to steal.
Obviously, your son Ian was well trained in the computer technology or information technology.
His master's from Oxford and London.
Masters.
So he was able to look at the need that for us to move this and move this quickly and put it into something that is secured. And to build out, to design. I think the greatest part of it was to design, because we had to see a customer arriving at the front end, the money's moving to a cashier, the money's moving from that cashier's point to the system will show us receiving it and dropping it. The money's now must be moved from that point, and tracking all of this in real time. Must now be moved to another location that we call a cash room that will sort and deal with this money, and then the monies are accounted for then, and then moved to a bank. And from a banking system, we must have the ability to move checks and pay people. That is only tracking the funds. Now we must go back and track the records for people in the event that they need to ask questions about their bets. Their tickets. What did I bet? When did I bet? How did I bet? What was my bet? What was the time? The record keeping of a receipt, which is a ticket or a purchase order, must also be protected, because that is more dangerous than the money. If I can say that I won for $1 and I change that winning to $100, we are liable. So that tracking was critical as well. And then the final aspect of it was the security. How do we secure this whole platform so that when others come from the outside, they can't get in? And I thought that that type of platform that was needed could only have been done because he did a lot of researches. We built this out with a lot of tentacles to accommodate us over the years. Things like mobile devices, where we can literally buy a device, integrate this from another company, translate the code and integrate this to our database so that this device will be able to do the same as a cashier that I have in the store. We then went out and built out, buying out source codes for ATMs, a whole company ATM source codes, because the company told us when we went to buy an ATM, you're not a bank, what are you going to do with ATMs? We don't sell ATMs to private companies. ATMs are only for banks. We had to find ways and means to purchase out rights to acquire ATMs and then translate the ATM code back to our code so that the ATM will know if one of our customers with our card comes for monies off of their account, read the balance, know that customer balance, issue them, and then give them a receipt. The database became so intelligent that we surpassed the requirements of banks by leaps and bounds. And that is what is being used today for all of the other operators as it relates to being able to take numbers, put bets on it, and secure it.
And you shared this platform willingly with the other 7 or so operators?
It was imperative. It was important.
Why you thought you should do that? In this day of competition, one would have thought that you would seek to retain this and to be selfish with it.
We, at least FML, never saw itself as being competitive. FML from day one, every single operator that exists today would have said to you that FML came to them and asked them to please join with us. This is major. Please, let us assist you. Please come to us. We will give you. Asu Draw today was a company that was built out of FML. When you look at Island Games today, Island Games, Pete DeWoe came in and all the mobile devices, handhelds and ATM, that our research team did that. FML's research team did all of this.
Mr. Flowers, Mr. Flowers, are you a cartel?
I wouldn't say a cartel. I don't think that we've arrived to my interpretation of a cartel to say that we have exclusivity over or to dominate an industry. I think the way the government would have eventually designed licensing, that it can easily fall in that category because cartels have exclusivity over the domain of an industry.
Right.
And it may seem to be that way now, but I don't endorse that. There's a lot of things that I will not endorse as it relates to the way the regulations we find ourselves today. But
you're not in favor of all the regulations?
Oh no, by leaps and bounds not. There's a lot of things that needs to be changed. But I understand, and I'm open to the fact that I do believe that the bigger picture of the gaming industry will be had after the government is able to get over the initial stage. I'm a bit naive, and in most cases I don't go down the road of believing in things that is being promised. But I'm willing to give the government the opportunity to, one, understand what it's getting involved with. The government do not understand the magnitude of what it's getting involved with.
At this late stage, you say that?
Oh, look.
You've created an industry. You have laws, you have regulations, and you say the government doesn't fully understand.
No, they don't, because if the government is saying to us, or the gaming board is saying to us, that we're going to issue you a license, that you're going to be able to do online gaming, and you're going to meet the highest requirements in this world, GLI 19 certification. And then I'm going to say to you, but you can only do it domestically within the confinement of the Bahamas. I mean, what are we doing? Why am I spending an additional $4 to $5 million in qualifying for something that I have no access to? And that's going to be challenged.
Mr. Flowers, what you're really saying is that here is this high-tech system that you've developed. You developed it, right? You have the expertise. You see the big picture. And now some bureaucrat who can tell you, maybe you don't want to say it like that.
Well, Godfrey, regulations is something that is long overdue. I've advocated from day one. I would have sat with the former government, then the FNM, to start this whole initiative. When I agreed to bring the industry together to go on this journey, it was in a lot of doubts by a lot of my colleagues that this ain't the right way to go. But after weeks and weeks and weeks of discussions with them, I was able to get them together to attend a meeting with Mr. Earnhardt Cunningham at the then Prime Minister's office. And that's how this whole thing started, because there was a desire for me, like so many other things in my life, to bring an end to this manner in which the games were being perceived. And that's why you don't hear me talking about competing against this or that or the other. We are about, if the industry survives and it's grown to whatever size it is capable of going to, then certainly service, and honesty and integrity will determine what share of the pie.
In essence, you want to be a global entity.
I don't think that the investment, as it relates now to what is being put into my company, can be confined to this
To the local market.
To 300,000.
Market too small.
Precisely. That is one of the reasons why we are not here in the context of the other companies. We are in Bermuda, where we are operating live and doing our business there. We are also in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, where we are live, doing business with the governments and other officials and regulatory bodies there. We've been in the Turks and Caicos from 2008, where we are very successful and is gaining more and more recognition and benefits for us there. We're in St. Martin. So we don't see with once we obtain the GLI 19 certification, which is the highest in the world, Great Britain is on the same standard as which they're asking us to conform to. When we arrive at these points, it makes no sense for you to say to me that I can only do business with, but that's a call that will be challenged, and I'm certain, by all of the game house operators with the regulatory bodies at the time to consider. Because why would I, as a Bahamian, pay the same compliance regulatory fees, and in most cases, well, in a direct case, more taxes by way of government contributions than the casinos do, and the casinos are allowed to go global. I mean, and I am allowed to cater to 300,000 people.
So if
that is a form of discrimination, isn't it?
Well, I don't want to throw it in that capacity right now, because I really would want to see how the final conclusion of this is decided. I really don't want to get to that point, because I do think, I have confidence in the government that they will make the necessary adjustments. They will see the need to empower people of color to participate on a global market in this economy.
But there are many people who believe now that you have been empowered, but you are suggesting that the government must go the additional step.
Absolutely. It is too restrictive. It is too restrictive.
With you operating at a global level, to me, it seems that it's going to increase employment, right?
Well, in employment, Godfrey, let me be honest with you with this, and I think this is a point that needs to be made across the spectrum of the Bahamas. In business today, technology will displace jobs at a faster rate than any government can create them. Okay, that's a fact. I don't mind who or what a politician is around here saying that, oh, we're creating jobs and we'll do. That's a fallacy. That will never happen. Technology will make people redundant twice as fast as you are able to produce jobs.
You create new types of jobs.
New types of jobs,
Yeah.
if you want to put it that way.
And isn't it so that the Bahamian public is really still not appreciative of the extent to which technology is involved in the kind of business that you are in, and the extent to which it has created a new industry in the Bahamas?
Well, the way forward for gaming is certainly, when we look at the old brick and mortar for casino type gaming, where you had to go to a facility and this, that's gone.
Yeah.
Brick and mortar casinos is under attack. They are the dinosaurs in the room. They're dying. What they're afraid of is how long it's going to take them to get up to speed like the Flowers and the others, in order to be able to compete at our speed, at our level. We are warp speed, and jobs will decline in this country as long as governments and other facilities like myself continue to take advantage of technology.
Tell me, Mr. Flowers, and we have to close it in a minute, if you can look at it objectively, the negative impact that this industry has on the economy of the Bahamas, because there are detractors, there are still detractors who believe that the gaming industry or the web shop industry has really done a number, and it's deleterious to the overall economy of the Bahamas.
I can honestly say, and I want to make it absolutely clear on this particular point, Wendell and Godfrey, is that this is only in reference to FML's position. I think that the government made a drastic mistake when it looked at the revenue and only cut it up in 2 or 3 pieces of the pie. The revenue, the small revenue that must be going back 2% to social activities, the 11% to go to government, and the rest of the money goes to the whomever operates these games. I thought that this was a unique opportunity for this government to step right up front and says, if this money is coming from the small people over the hill, you Craig Flowers, you Sebastian, you Pete DeWoe, you all operators have a mandate to go back and invest this money back over the hill. I mean, I look at the places that I come from over the hill, and it is mind-boggling to me, to these constituencies, that has been left alone, and we're making the same mistake.
So you're not giving enough back to where the money is coming from?
We are not doing enough. You don't give, Wendell. What we do is we should be uplifting the community where we get this money from, by way of loans, by way of soft assistance. That's where the money is coming from.
So what you said is that you should be able to go into banking.
We should be able to get the money. It should be an act. The same way the government gets its money, there should be an act written in the laws to say to us that we must reinvest so much of this money back into the communities. If that is missing, then I can't see how we could say that the government is thinking about the small people.
To what extent are you really, your platform and the technology that you're using, to what extent are you competing directly with the commercial banking industry of the Bahamas?
I don't consider the banks a part of my mindset at all, Wendell, because I think it's just embarrassing where we find ourselves with banking in this country today. I've had problems with that from day one. The story for me will require another show that I will come to sit on to talk about the financial, the lack of distribution of wealth in this country as where we find ourselves today. And as a black man who's a millionaire, I'm excluded. They give me carte blanche. I go and do whatever I want to do, but I don't find that to be sufficient when I have to leave my brothers and sisters behind and be given Ocean Club at Paradise and be given all of these other big celebrity parties in Life Key. It makes nonsense. We're doing exactly the same thing that the other parties did, separate the wealthy from the poor. We don't have in place a system that is demanding that if we, people of color, are going to become wealthy from something that is domestic, mandated so that we bring along some of the poor people. We are leaving the poor people behind. That's my major problem with this.
And you see any way in the immediate future that can be corrected?
Wendell, I think that it's going to require a vision from somebody who has the people, the small people, at their passion. There has to be a desire. I come from over the hill. I love where I'm from. I'm not embarrassed to say that I'm from Farm Road and Kwaku Street. That's where I'm from. But I'm treated differently because I'm wealthy. And I look at the little people that has been allowed to be separated. Now that there's laws in place, there should be a law to make me go back.
Greg Flowers, thank you so very much for being here today. Appreciate it.
Always my pleasure. Sorry about the passion.
That's all right. It's good. It's good. I'm so sorry that we started this particular segment so late. But thank you so very much. You have a wonderful story to tell. And that is why
it shows that
you are a business person of the year 2015. Yes.
It shows that he has a social conscience.
A social conscience. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much for watching and listening to our program today. Good evening, everyone.